Brown 45. Brown 45. Hot, 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 hot.
Of commercial-free football start now.
Forgot to take it down. Hello. Welcome back. Week 3 of the NFL. Underdogs run faster. Basically, if you had an underdog, you had a shot at winning. We did so well on picking games week 1. We were battling for 500 in week 2. That's just how NFL works. It's the classic saying, nobody is as bad as you think they are. There aren't, but except if you're the Carolina Panthers, you are as bad as you think you are. Gosh, that franchise, we'll discuss it. We'll discuss winners and losers, all that stuff. If you're coming here to watch Nazario and Andrew Barr cry, they are not here. Conveniently, we're able to miss this week. There is somebody that stood here, and he's going to stand in the pocket, and he's going to take pressure, just like his quarterback did all flipping night long. Scully's here. Scully, what happens first? You fix that O-line, or you ruin Caleb Williams' confidence, where he just doesn't have the ability anymore to be a quarterback?
I mean, shit, the guy is so optimistic most of the time. I mean, I truly think it'll take it. Look, he threw 37 passes on Sunday. 36 of them were pressured. I think that's a record. But in all honesty, I'm not that mad. I'm not that worried. If we had a better protection unit, we'd probably win that game. And it's one of the best teams in the league. So I'm chilling. Picks wise, I felt like Jeff Fisher just going 8-8 regardless.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I 100% agree with you. Like, there are teams after this week that I would push the panic button on, but this is not one of the teams that I would push the panic. Like, I don't think, honestly, again, I know that some people are higher up on them than me. I don't believe they're like 100% like a guaranteed lock for a playoff team, but I think they're going to be way better than they were last year. And I think you're not going to Chicago fans just don't understand this. Like, there's not available offensive linemen just laying around wanting to come play football. And guess what? I'm going to tell you, that's the one position that they don't trade. Like, ever. Like, if you have somebody, you're either going to be locked in for life or you got to move in free agency. You don't move in the middle of the season because then you're just setting yourself up. I think there's a concern. We'll talk about it, but I think there's a concern on the run game side of the ball. And I think everybody's biggest problems was the head coach is still there, and I don't know if he's great for it. But next up, Mark. Cleveland's back, baby. You or at least, or Trevor Lawrence sucks as much as I've said. Either way, how are you doing? You look good. You look strong. How are you doing?
Yeah, I guess I'm all right. I mean, I guess the Browns look better than the Rams right now. I mean, just fuck Apple, man. Like, the whole team just went on IR today. Like, what's that all about?
Yeah.
It's worse and worse by the day.
Yeah, that Super Bowl is as bad as cursed as if I pick anything for 16 points in this league.
I mean, Cleveland could still maybe happen. The Rams, no way, fucking hell, that's happening. The
retirement home called, and they said we've had people escape, and they started grabbing people. Like, they were like, hurry, they're running down the corridor. It was just bad. Like, it's just every ancient person possible. It's like the first week, I'm like, don't you guys know who Cooper Kupp is? And then they're like, don't worry, he ain't making a pass. I'm telling you, he made a deal with the devil. That Triple Crown season, he traded everything in his life for that Triple Crown season and then died after. His knees, everything is bad. This next guy on the show, you have arguably one of the greatest defenses I've seen, but holy shit, is it the most boring fucking football I have ever watched in my entire. That game should not have been broadcast. That game should have been sent to prison or something. It was. Washington caught a pass, and I was like, oh, they're throwing. Dead. Nothing else happened. That was the easiest under I've ever bet in my entire life, and I knew it was happening. So, and Auburn Bo Nix is in full display, everybody. Anthony Richardson is there. I'm telling you, watch college. I'll tell you who these quarterbacks really are. Not good. Not good at all. Robert, how are you? You look good. You look strong.
Thank you. I feel strong. Yeah, I mean, that game, there was a touchdown that was taken off because of a pick play where the defender ran into Van Jefferson, and then there was a 51-yard pass that got negated by the tickiest tack holding penalty I've ever seen. But besides that stuff, I understand what you're saying, Cody. It was not fun to watch. The second half was like taking a drill bit into the temple for me. I hated it. I have a conspiracy theory that the Steelers don't want Justin Fields to do well. I think Tomlin has a big ego and he wants Russ to be the starter. So Fields is a fly in his ointment right now, and they're doing what they can to make him seem like.
Wasn't I saying this like 2 years ago or something?
Maybe. Okay, so we are going through. Coho will be here, I think. I don't know if he's showing up. He sent me.
When he gets here, are you going to tell him he looks good and strong?
No, he looks like a bitch. But if anything, I'm consistent. I will say the only thing I'm going to be like, I was completely like not correct on was Sam Darnold. Yeah, like cool. I still think cool your jets because this could fall flat on your face at some point where you're really cocky right now and then you shouldn't cut me and then you're dead by week 2. But it's something about that dome that does really bad. So I'm going to start. Oh, let's go through overall records. Sorry, jumping ahead. First place we will do from last week's records. This was overall 9-7, 9-7 for me and Mark and Robert. 8-8 and 8-8 for Nazario, and 7-9, 7-9 for Barr and Coho. Overall record. Robert is in the first place lead with, well, I guess I don't know why.
You have the most wins.
Yes, I have the most wins, but listen, I literally only lost 3 games last week, and I literally tanked this past week. But yes, but Robert is leading in total points, 184, because little known math here, don't know if anybody knows this, if you lose both your 16 points back-to-back weeks, it's hard to lead in total points. I have I have done this for Robert. I've attacked the Cincinnati Bengals and the Ravens. I'm coming at the Browns and I'm coming at the Steelers at some point this week because I have to bring balance to the force. But that's what it is.
Perfect week to do the Browns.
Winners, losers. I'm going to start with my loser. My loser is the Indianapolis Colts. Hello, you do not look strong. You do not look good. You look like a bitch. Sorry, that's just I had to just commit to the bit. I was going to tell you you're strong, but you're not. And I also backtracked. I told you I was wrong about Sam Darnold. I will admit that on call right now. So my loser for the week, Indianapolis Colts. Malik Willis was the quarterback on the other side. He threw 22 yards, 22 passing yards. And maybe not everybody's played football. I get it. When you have a Malik Willis under center, you stack the box. But you let Josh Jacobs run for 100 yards in the first half. Anthony Richardson, you're a bust. You're a bad quarterback. You got lucky with those passes against the Bears or against the Houston. That was proven. He only completed 9. They were all deep shots. Bad overall performance. You had him on the ropes. You refused to just kill him at that point. My winners of the week, and again, I just keep doing the Lord's work on this show. I said first coach fired, Dennis Allen. 2-0 looks like a Super Bowl team. They no. Let's not get crazy. They're not. Well, I just said that, so we'll see them in the Super Bowl this year. But the only thing I will say, Dennis Allen ever quotes Kendrick Lamar ever again after a game, he needs to just be taken out back and taken care of. Sometimes you got to stop out and show them. You don't ever say that again. But we thought the Panthers were one thing. They decided to dismantle the Panthers. That was whatever. But to go into Jerry's house, where the Cowboys have reigned, and put up a game plan to dismantle that defense the way you did, and play pretty good defense against that offense that the Browns struggled with, I mean, I don't know if there's a bigger winner of the week to be 2-0 and to set up to kind of exciting that the Bucks versus Saints match actually has weight this year and looks exciting. I think it's by far those are my two. That's my winner and losers. There's a lot more to choose from. Those are the ones that popped in my head. What's everybody's thoughts on my winners and losers?
Yeah, I mean the Colts. I mean, horrendous showing. It shows that Matt LaFleur is one of the best coaches in the league, but the fact that you can't put more than 3 points up against a defense that last week looked awful. I don't think Richardson's a bust yet. He's only played 6 pro games in his whole career. I think 6 is too small of a sample size personally, but we'll see. Once he plays 6 more games, how he looks.
Can I do the same with Caleb Williams? How many do I have to say about Caleb Williams second?
End of the season.
Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
But yeah, they looked awful. So hard to find a bigger lose than them. And then Saints look really good. We'll see how long that honeymoon lasts.
Yeah, it's crazy that everybody was on the Colts because they thought, Malik Willis, what is he going to do? Colts are competent. Shane Steichen, he knows what he's doing. Well, apparently he can't tell Gus Bradley to put 9 people in the box and let him throw to beat him because I guess we're just split and we have partitions between the offense and defense and the head coach because he really should have figured that out, you would have thought. Jonathan Gannon, best coach of the Nick Sirianni coaching tree. I think it's proven out, honestly, the way the shit's going. So, yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I mean the Colts losing because the Packers ran it down their throats is gross. That's stupid. The fact that they had Malik Willis under center, and for most of that game he didn't even cross 100 passing yards till the fourth quarter, and it's just Josh Jacobs needing a $300 million raise for putting that franchise on his back last week. But yeah, Colts look bad.
I think if we learned anything this weekend is that the AFC South really sucks. That whole division should just be bombed because they all can't play football. We might as well take the Texans out of there and put the Carolina Panthers in that division. It'd just be the perfect just shit show every single week.
I guess everybody would be surprised I didn't pick the Fabio that's down working in Jacksonville, but I've made my position very clear on that. Okay. How many games that's an interesting one. 6 pro games, too much to say. Urban Meyer's been out of there a couple years. When can we say that about Trevor Lawrence?
This year.
Anybody?
Now,
Pretty much now.
Oh, okay.
I'll say it now. I'm selling all my Trevor Lawrence. That was trash.
I've seen that on the marketplace for a real long time, and I've been selling everything I get. Okay. Let's go, Mark. Your winners and losers from the week.
Yeah. No, so I'll start out the winners. I think just feel like this year there's gonna be my team. The winners are the Bucks. Like obviously, I mean they. I think Lions. I think did at least somewhat play better this weekend, but Bucks are still able to at least pull out a win. I think they just Baker just looks rejuvenated. I think they finally figured out a way to kind of effectively use Chris Godwin, and I don't know. There's just something like fun and like just kind of sort of magical about the Bucks here. I feel like people kind of thought they would die after Tom Brady left, and they're sitting there with a dope for a head coach and Todd Bowles, and it doesn't really seem to matter. They just kind of they're just good right now, and I feel good about that because like I think looking at this week in the NFL, I feel like it's kind of hard to pick a winner. There's a whole plethora of losers we can pick from. But I think the easy one for me is the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. Because I hate watching the Eagles play football.
Fucking thank God. Yes.
I cannot stand when I got to kill a fucking primetime hours to watch the dumb Eagles play 75% of the game thinking, oh, they're going to just whip somebody's ass. And instead, and we're all talking about, Saquon dropped the pass. Like, they fucking lost that game 8 different times last night.
Those fucking battery head morons in Philadelphia that want to accuse that they've been drinking antifreeze since they were born. Fucking morons. They want to blame Saquon Barkley. Excuse you. No, you blame who called the play. Who called the... He shouldn't have had the chance to get hit in the hands with the ball. And Nick Sirianni, I would have said, no, you don't fire him. Like, what? How is this still in the playbook when it's 3rd and fucking 9? I don't know where Jalen Hurts became Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have that speed. He has never had that speed. He's got some quick goes, but he is not lightning fast. Where a 3rd and 9, you just... He should be that quarterback that when the play breaks down, he runs for the first. If it's 4th and 1 and you want to go for it, you do the tush push. That's the only time that ball should be in his hand fucking moving forward. You have Saquon fucking Barkley if you want to run the ball. That's the only thing. It is the most infuriating to watch them play with a few. And it's the classic saying, you know what happens when you're in prevent defense? You prevent yourself from winning the game. If they have to go 40 yards, if they got to go 70 yards, 80 yards, 90, it doesn't matter. Why the fuck are you sending 6 people at Kirk Cousins? He can't get the ball downfield that far ever and play tight man-to-man down the field. They have Drake London and Mooney. Those are your 2 options at that point. Even if they chuck play you possibly get a hit on Cousins. That's what you need. It is bad football. It has always been bad football. Because guess what? One chunk play you can afford. They made that look like the Lions' drive against the Rams. Surgical over, and they have Jake fucking Elliott. They don't have a guy they don't have the Giants kicker that was injured. They have nobody. All you needed was 15 yards. But what does he fucking do? One, if I'm a defender and I'm watching Jalen Hurts walk back from the timeout, he literally looks at Smith, grabs him, and is like, you're my guy. So if I'm a defender, that fucking 6, everybody ride his ass. Everybody else, fuck him. I don't care. Their entire plan. They have Devontae Smith. They have Dallas Goedert. And who was the leading catcher on the team? Some fucking guy that we haven't that showed up today. I was like, you're the most incompetent head coach I've ever seen in my life. You're cocky as fuck. You played with your food for too long, and they punched you in the mouth. It is ridiculous. They had no timeout. You run it down their throat. You kick a field goal. They have way less yards. It's just laughable at this point. Nothing was fixed. Zero things were fixed. They just have Saquon Barkley.
They're the same team from last year.
They are the exact same team. 100%.
They're going to lose their wild card matchup.
I will say, your winner, I held that Baker stock for fucking years. Every year in the Browns, this is bad. In those Carolina year, that was super hard to hold that stock. Everybody's like, you fucking serious? Rams, even that held on to you. I held it. Fucking turned to a dime. I'm telling you, if I was Cleveland, I would be the most furious there's ever been. He is not. Is he the top 5? No. But he can get you to a playoff, and he could get you, if you have a strong enough defense and a good enough weapon, he can get you to a series playoff games. He almost did it last year. Dumb.
I said it in the back half of last season that this year Sirianni's on the hot seat if they don't fix shit. And I guarantee you he is out of Philly by the end of the year. He is laughably bad. Sirianni sucks.
All that goodwill that they built up in that first game, they just reverted. I mean, it's without A.J. Brown, that offense has no idea how to function. Even because Devontae Smith is not a wide receiver 1. They targeted Grant Calcaterra as many times as they targeted Dallas Goedert, and they heralded Goddard as this next great tight end. When he came in to replace Kelsey, or not Kelsey, when he came in to replace Ertz, and yet he's a no-show for half the time. So Sirianni just gets too cute. He gets too cute, too creative. He tries to be this mastermind, this smart-talking Austin Powers motherfucker, and it blows up in his face half the time.
Yeah, you're 100. You get too cocky and play too fancy football. The play was to run the ball, and that's what you set up a 4th and 1. Even if you go for it there.
Do you know how hard it is to make Kirk Cousins look great in the last 2 minutes of the game in prime time? Because you just showed how he could for the first time ever.
Where was that Kirk Cousins when he had fucking Justin Jefferson the last 2 weeks?
All right, here we go.
I'm annoyed by that. I'm glad we don't have him anymore because that Achilles could pop in the next 3 weeks. But that guy is he played good last night. I'll give him that.
He played good at the last drive.
Yeah.
Robert, winner and loser.
Yeah, I was going to say that my loser was Jonathan Taylor, but you took the Colts because I don't understand we don't run because we were in pass plays Shane Steichen bullshit explanation. It was a 1-possession game for a lot of that game. I don't know why I did even in the 4th quarter. So fuck that. So I changed my loser. I'll start with him. I'm going to do this probably a lot. Tyler Lockett is my loser.
Ooh.
Tyler Lockett's my loser because he got usurped pretty fucking quick by JSN, who had 16 targets, I think, in this game. That should have never been that close. Went to overtime. Don't understand that. I guess it's Seattle traveling east is the only thing I can think of. But it is DK Metcalf, it is JSN, and Tyler Lockett is a distant third. I remember when he was good. I don't think he's ever getting that back unless there's an injury. And my winner, we've noticed a great increase in kicking prowess. The Washington Commanders had arguably the worst kicker in week 1, and they sent his ass packing. And then they got a dude off the scrap heap, and we were the first week, Boswell kicks 6 field goals, and fucking Brandon Aubrey kicks all these. And then fucking Austin Seibert kicks 7 field goals. Commanders hilarious in red zone, and the Commanders win because the Giants are more inept. But you got to give Austin Seibert credit for coming out and just putting the team on his back, I guess, is how you would describe it. And, another great kicker in the works. What can we say?
So, yeah, Tyler Lockett. I don't like. Watching. Who exceeded him?
Jackson Smith.
Yeah, seeing him in Ohio State, I thought that was like one of the people that I would have drafted very high. If you want to fast it, I think he's really good. I thought personally, I was surprised Tyler Lockett's still at that thing. Like I would have just traded him off or done something like a Thielen. Like he was good for a really long time. I just think the age is going to catch up to him at some point. And like DK Metcalf and him are like really good pushing together. So like I don't blame that situation. But yeah, sorry Lockett. Times are changing. Your kicker, I will give you yes. I think overall this dynamic field goal or kickoff is ruining football because kickers are too good now. So when we all started watching football, fucking 40-yarder, like 49 was like, holy shit, like good job. 50 was like, okay, these fuckers are kicking 60s now, like they're like going out of style. And we start them on the 30. They only have to gain 30 yards basically to get a field goal. Like it's boring, it's stupid. Can we just run out of the end zone again? Can we just do normal shit? Like, fuck your landing zone. Fuck putting them together. It's the dumbest thing. Like, they decided one day, like, hey, injuries are bad. Tua's still going to die every time he's on the field, but injuries are bad. They can wear the condom helmets if they want, if that helps them not die. All these situations, but they literally have ruined. Like, now you can't onside kick when you won. Have you seen the attempts on onside kicks?
No.
They're fucking pitiful. They are garbage. Hey, it's coming. Thank you. All right, game over. There's no excitement anymore. It's zero. It is so bland. It is so boring. It's just ruining football. But I'm with you. My thing is just kickers are. It's ruining the sport. Like, look at all these games. Your team wins week 1. Only has to kick field goals. Washington kicked 7 fucking field goals and just like. Yay! This game is great. Like, it's just like Harrison Butker goes up, shocking. Did anybody think he was gonna miss? And the only kicker that's not succeeding is fucking Justin Tucker. Wild time we're in.
Yeah.
Anybody want to touch on Roberts?
I'll just say I didn't realize until right now that Washington didn't score a touchdown in that game. I just assumed they did because
Nope.
it was 21. Because I wasn't watching that fucking
Bad
game.
day for Jane Daniels fantasy owners. Bad day.
No, I thought just like maybe jumping off a tall building would be better than sitting through that game. So I just
They have that stat going around that the Giants are the only team that scored 3 touchdowns, didn't give up 1, and lost. Why?
Cool. All right, Koha.
I won't pick Darnold again because he played great. And at this point, I think people are like, okay, cool. Darnold's going to be a competent backup for most teams going forward, if not starting for someone as a bridge. But I will say the winner this week for me, I'm going to take – I'm honestly just going to say Jalen Naylor. I'm going to stay homer. I'm going to explain in a minute. Jalen Naylor got drafted 1 pick before Justin Jefferson by the Eagles and was punished for it by Philly because they're like, oh, this fucking guy is trash.
That's not the assignment.
Run him out of Philly. They run him out of Philly, and Minnesota goes, all right, we'll take you. We'll make you a 5th, 6th string.
Pause.
Hold on.
Pause.
This guy stepped in.
That's not the assignment.
What?
It's not the assignment. This isn't Vikings sit around and jerk off. This is the winner of the you picked Sam Darnold. I let it pass the first weekend.
You're talking about Jalen Rager, who just got.
Yes.
Rager.
I didn't care.
Cut by the Pats.
Yeah, who just got cut by the.
I fucked up. It's fine.
Oh
Anyway,
my
Vikings. Anyway, I'll amend it for Cody's sake. Vikings are my pick. That was a big win. They beat the 49ers. I'm an idiot. They beat the 49ers. That's a huge win for Darnold and the team. I'll take it.
You're not
I
allowed
was
to
up
pick.
there
You're not allowed
later.
to.
Sorry.
You're not allowed.
Whatever.
I was
I
sitting
thought
there.
that
I
was
was
the
like,
same guy. My
I
bad.
was like, that's not his name. But I was letting you cook. You're off. You can't pick winners anymore.
Nah, that's
No,
fine.
You're
no,
just
no,
picking the. You're just picking the Vikings every week. You pick
Okay, but
Donald's
here's
for.
my reasoning for this week, and this will be the last time I pick them.
No,
Unless they do
you
really great.
can't say that. You did it last time.
I picked Darnold last week because he was a huge winner.
Who's he the starting quarterback for?
Can you honestly look at me and tell me the Vikings are not the big winner out of this week, beating the 49ers when everyone was losing your division?
No.
Everyone was like, you're going to be the worst team in the fucking league except for the Panthers, and you come in and you fucking beat the 49ers.
So what I believe was, and I honestly believe this, with the 49ers game, I believe they went in there thinking it's Sam Darnold across the way. We can do that. Did you know how many self-inflicted wounds the 40? I don't know if the Vikings won this game.
3 almost turnovers, if not.
I don't know if this is as much as the Vikings winning more than the 49ers just shooting themselves in the foot. Like
Defense gets credit. Vikings defense deserves some credit.
Shocking. I'm wondering why you believe that.
Andrew Van Ginkel's been out of his mind the last 2 weeks.
You thought literally.
I just fucked up my name. Fair enough. I'll take that out.
There was
you
a
guys.
point. There was a point.
For
Jalen Baker was on the Vikings.
Just don't bring it up. I was letting him cook because I wanted the entire segment to go back to him. And then hopefully he references him in the pick of this week while he picks the fucking. And it would have been wrong. It's whatever. Again, who's your loser?
Oh, Carolina, fuck them. Like these, I don't know how you can survive. You bench poor Bryce Young gets benched, and it's not even because Bryce Young's not playing good, but like, goddamn, it's not all this kid's fault. This team's
Oh my!
terrible.
Stop it!
He's terrible all around. It's not just the kid's fault. He's not good.
Oh, I'll tell you. Let's be honest with ourselves, Coho. Don't try to dance around this. How many actual snaps have you seen of the Carolina Panthers?
Whatever came on Red Zone, you're fucked in the head if you thought I was watching the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you go back and watch the all 20, yeah, that's a 0 because they're not in the fucking red zone. They're never in the red zone. He has so much, like, he is so bad. Like, it is not, like, you can say that team is doomed. That's fine. But they actually have some weapons. He just doesn't have anything. He doesn't have the pocket awareness. And it's the same thing with Caleb Williams. It's the same thing with them. It's every rookie quarterback that has a weaker offensive line. All you have to do is stack the box and get in their face, and they don't have enough time to make those decisions ready. Anybody on his team, and if you want to talk about Jalen Reagor, you can for a little bit. He caught a fucking stray. He's the winner for the week for not doing anything.
He can never pick winners.
Yeah, I think it should be a ban.
I disagree. He can pick if he has a moment like this every week. He can pick his winners anytime he wants. He can pick 3 winners and just create some weird fake narrative about him that we never realized it. Listen,
Yeah.
I'll say a quick thing about the Panthers. I think we were saying the same shit about Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold when they were starting quarterback for the Panthers.
No.
I'm just saying.
No. There's
good. I'm just saying he doesn't look good. But like if he goes somewhere else and is good, because the Panthers are just a terrible organization.
I don't.
Baker, Darnold, they both played long periods in the Panthers and looked trash when they were there.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. I get what you're saying, and you're right. They didn't look great. Bryce Young is the only one of those 3 that doesn't look like he knows how to play the position. He is lost. He was in tears walking off the field.
I mean, I would be too.
I would be too.
Again, I'm telling you, everybody do yourself a favor. Just do yourself a favor. Watch college. If you don't watch college football, watch college football. Just look at the top prospects of the draft and go watch them play football. Anybody that thought Bryce Young should have went before C.J. Stroud just didn't watch football. Just didn't watch football.
David Tepper.
They just didn't. He did not present anything that screamed. He short, not great awareness. He was in the SEC and he got to feast off bad teams, but when he played against hard teams, he didn't do super well. I have also said this about another guy that's in Chicago. I saw him fucking shit his pants against Notre Dame's defense last year, and then when he gets to the NFL, he about cries.
Not for nothing, the year before, he torched that same Notre Dame defense.
It's not the same defense, buddy.
It was the same defense.
Not at all the same defense.
That defense.
They had every returning defensive player come back to Notre Dame.
Not
Can you fact check that? Can you that seems like a Coho fact that you just threw out of your ass.
There's every year.
Listen, I expect actually Robert's like the most rational fan that we have on this entire show, but I expect you to fucking handcuff yourself to the ship wheel and go down with the fucking ship. I expect that. But your nail-polished quarterback and Sam Darnold and Josh Dobbs and everybody, when you come in here and try to feed this fake bullshit, I'm sorry. You guys look bad.
Are you really comparing Caleb Williams to that leukemia patient of a quarterback that we eviscerated last year?
I don't know which one I would take, but let me tell you, the most satisfying game to watch last week was Houston versus Chicago, because it was like playing on rookie on Madden and just sending the house on a quarterback and just watching him fly different places. It was so bad. And please, for the love of God, burn that orange shit. Stop it.
I don't like the orange helmet. Orange jerseys I like. I think we should go back to wearing the navy helmets with the orange.
Your winners, your losers, Scully.
Winners, far and away, the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
They have arrived. They've arrived.
I said it. Wild card.
Your MVP candidates early: Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, Kyler Murray. Kyler looks like his old self again, and he is confident. He has a brand new, shiny new toy that he played with up and down the field on Sunday. All that talk of him not finding Marvin Harrison.
Doesn't have good speed.
Yeah,
that can
he's
be
the
put to
slowest
bed
wide receiver.
right away.
Slowest wide receiver. Interesting.
Yeah, so that ended pretty quickly. And their defense looked great too. It didn't help that the Rams are a shell of themselves at the moment, but they took advantage and they look like a complete football team all the way down to special teams. So big week for them. They're going to be pretty dangerous going forward. And then my losers this week, it's got to be the Ravens. I don't know how you fuck that up that bad that quickly. I mean, even by Lamar standards, that was awful. That was an awful choke. I don't understand how you don't score that many points in the second half against a defense that last week couldn't stop a basic bitch-ass Harbaugh offense. I don't understand how Lamar doesn't run that ball all the way to the end zone on the Hail Mary attempt and just pitches it off to Justice Hill. I don't know what the fascination with Justice Hill is right now, because he's not that good. And now they're 0-2. They're 0-2. They're in the same position as the Bengals are, except the Bengals actually know how to fight out of being 0-2. Ravens haven't been this way in a while. So now you're playing from behind in a division that's going to be even tougher to crawl back from. And you want to be up there with the Chiefs and all that at the end of the year. So.
Yeah, it's basically a foot away from the Ravens being 1-1, and then again,
if you have the yards from Lamar's run, it was actually it's like 30 yards away from being 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, that team is they're so confusing because I think they'll be fine. I just think they will. But again, you can't afford losses to the Ravens. To the Raiders when you have to play in that division. Because that division shows up to play you guys. Like they want to make the playoffs, but they want to beat you. Like that's the one division in football that I would say is like the most competitive division. So I think you're just playing with your food. Let them you made them look a lot better than they were. They were a clear cut. I think the Chiefs improved from last season, but I think the Ravens seriously improved from last season because I think Derrick Henry should have been a game changer. But the more news that's coming out, I am 100% correct on. There's stuff I haven't factored in. Derrick Henry isn't a world-beating running back unless you're feeding him 20 times a game. Because his run style is wear the fuck down on the linebackers and defensive linemen. So then on that 12th run, he's breaking farther. The 13th run, he's going even further, and he's not getting tired, but the defense is. But they're not feeding him enough. So it's just like, hey, who's that big running back in the back? Just fucking chop him at the legs, and we'll just take him down the occasional runs they give him. That often should be a fucking read option, and it's just not, and it makes zero
Lamar's
sense.
own hubris is going to be their downfall because he tries so hard to beat the allegations that he's just a running quarterback.
Yeah,
he he missed Flowers on those 2 passes on Thursday night, and he knows that he wins the game for them if he can connect on those 2 passes. And what does he do this week? Tries to overcorrect. He stays away from the run. He doesn't give it to his running back. Todd Monken bows down to him and allows him to do whatever he wants in throwing the football. When push comes to shove, he's got to realize that his legs are the best offense they have.
3 factors why the Ravens aren't as good anymore.
Here we go.
They lost some linemen. Obviously, line's important. Even with Derrick Henry pushing the pile, you need a solid line.
Their inner offensive line is similar to the Bears. It's fucking paper.
Yeah, they just have Lamar to correct some things in the back half. They lost Mike McDonald running the defense. That's important. And then the third thing is Justin Tucker is not clutch anymore. He can't cover up a couple mistakes that they might make. You mentioned it, Cody. You only have to go 30 yards typically to kick a field goal. He's not making those field goals anymore. He's the 4th or 5th best kicker in the AFC now. It's just the conference. I would take 3 or 4 other guys over him now, and that's nuts. And to put a bow on it, do you know their next 6 games? They play the Cowboys this week.
Gauntlet.
They play the Bills. They play the Bengals. Even the Manders game isn't a shoe-in. And then they play the Bucks in Tampa, and they play the Browns in Cleveland. They could be 2-6, honestly. They'll probably be 3-5, but that's still in that division. Fucking sucks for them, and they'll be crawling out of that hole the whole time.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I don't think it's beneficial at all. And back to the Cardinals. I was high on them before. I thought they were going to be an explosive offense with a pretty bad defense. It's also helping that division's kind of weird this year. I think it's a little different. Also, I would be remiss. I honestly think not a winner, but not as bad as we all seemed. The Patriots are not that bad. No. They're not great, but for them to keep in the game against Seattle up to the wire, quality. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Say what you will. So overall, before we get to power rankings, just want to give a quick idea. Can we all get off the narrative that the refs just get on the knees and blow the Kansas City Chiefs? Because did anybody watch the Kansas City Chiefs game?
A bit of it, yeah.
Kelsey got that pass. Kelsey got that pass, got them into field goal range. There was a holding penalty that made it 4th and 16. So there's your penalty against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, I'm sorry, that was pass interference. I don't like when a game ends like that. But that was pass interference. You teach your rookie to not hit before the ball arrives. If everybody's team is different in that situation, if you flip the script, it's hard because it's them. It's the it's the champions there, and everybody's like they're going to get it. You can't do it. It's basic football. And it's like Patrick Mahomes crying at the end of the game last year when he's like, you don't call that. You can't call that offside. Bitch, yes, you can. It's 100% you can. You can't, and I understand. If you're a football fan and you're not a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you do not want to see them three-peat. I get it. You want somebody to come up and dethrone them. But, don't tell me they're getting every call. Jamar Chase is a fucking idiot, if we're being real.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What was his flag that he wanted? A drop tackle?
A hip drop tackle, yeah.
Fuck off. He had you at the shoulders and he pulled you down. I'm sorry. No. It didn't even meet any of the 4 requirements for a hip drop. He didn't have you at the hip. He had you at the shoulder blades. It was crazy. I feel like that's a weird narrative that we threw. We threw at Brady all the time. Oh, well, flags are in the back pocket. Yeah, it looks like it because they're on the primetime game all the time, but they're not. Look at the stat lines. Look at how many times they were flagged last year. The Kansas City Chiefs. What's that? Who's their left tackle? Fucking no. Okay, right tackle. How the fuck you know the left tackle and rattle it off like it was no problem, but you don't know?
He cost them 7 penalties.
Yeah.
No, the right tackle's the one that gets them all the penalties.
Suamataia is the rookie that keeps fucking them up on the O-line.
He's the left guard.
I'm telling you, the guy from last year was the most flagged player in the NFL, and he's continuing to do it this year. Whoever is the
Jawan Taylor.
Jawan Taylor, that motherfucker, he sucks. Every time he's a false start waiting to happen. All right. Anything before we get into week 3 and we get to the power rankings?
Yeah. Covered it.
Let me tell you guys, I saw this.
Uh-oh.
It ain't good. All right?
Vikings top 5?
I feel like it's better than most.
Oh, my gosh, Coho.
I was close. I was very close.
I feel pretty good about this one.
The Saints at 4 is fucking crazy. I'm sorry, it is.
I have to be honest. They're fucking 80
They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Cowboys, but they beat the Panthers. They are 1-1 against 1-0.
That's dope.
I'll say it.
This week?
How are the Bills not better?
Yeah, I think the Bills should be a little bit.
Those were way higher.
Bills before they made Tua even more smooth brain than before. They literally made him look like he was fucking inept. Did you see that pick 6 he threw? Who was he throwing it to?
I moved them up quite substantially this week by
Who
putting
did they
them
play
behind.
week 1?
But what?
Who did the Bills play week 1?
Cardinals.
The Cards. Remember
They
that
almost
great
lost to
game?
the Cardinals.
They beat the Cardinals, which you have at 10, and then they beat the Miami, which I think Miami was sitting where?
They were top 10 last week, and they just
Your metric doesn't make sense.
dropped.
You think the Vikings are a better team than the Buffalo Bills?
I think if they played, the Vikings would.
Oh no! Oh,
I do.
No.
I think the Bills' defense is probably better. I think the Vikings' offense is dunking on the Bills.
What?
The Vikings' offense is significantly better than the Bills' offense.
Scully, you are not seeing the matchup highlight where they put Sam Darnold on the screen next to Josh Allen, and people go, clearly, I have Sam Darnold.
That's literally.
I'm not saying Darnold's a better
Down
quarterback,
that
but I'm
you're
saying
talking
that Justin Jefferson and Jalen Naylor are better than everyone in Buffalo.
I'm sorry, Jalen who?
Naylor.
Sure about
Naylor
that?
is the receiver on the Vikings. That I'm
Are
right.
you sure about
Rager
that?
is the wrong person I said.
Are you sure about that?
I hope.
Yes, I know that they have Jalen Naylor this year, and that's
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Sure about that?
I'm sure about that.
Co, where did you have the Ravens last week?
Ravens, I think I had number 5 or 6.
And the Raiders were like 30, right?
The Raiders were like 31.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like
I just
maybe a bit higher of a jump with that kind of win on the road.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think that the Raiders are not good, and it says more that the Ravens lost than the Raiders won.
All right. I'm just gonna say this. The Chargers are 24.
Yeah.
They're 2-0. You have
Yeah.
4 0-2 teams ahead of them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I'm gonna
is
be
that
so real with you. The 2 Chargers wins don't impress me at all.
They're still fucking 2-0, man. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
These are not. This is not USA Today, Mark. Go buy a
Mark,
USA Today if you want the fucking
Mark.
standing.
Mark, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Raiders beat the Ravens. Cool. Awesome. Not better than the 0-2 teams. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm sorry. This isn't USA Today. This isn't logic based. This is fucking chaos.
They don't have to be in the top 10, but like at least like 6. Like, they're better than the Rams right now. The Rams they are not.
100%.
No,
And the Seahawks at 21 seems low.
Yeah.
Seems a little low for them.
But,
I know they.
But I bet.
I'm not sure I buy the Seahawks right now, but we'll see.
But those
I like
those
what I saw
two
week
wins
2.
seem
I
like-
just didn't like what I saw week 1.
You like the playing close to okay.
I think my team's a little high.
You know, the difference is he didn't
That's
like those
respectable.
2 Seahawk wins or those 2 Charger wins, but he loved those 2 Ravens losses. That's the difference. And those 2 Bengals losses, forget it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, fucking garbage. Throw them in the trash. Fucking
Yeah, they lost to your 22 ranked team, so I guess that gets them.
yeah. The Texans. Listen, guys. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking right now. The 49ers should be lower, but they lost to the Minnesota Vikings, so they're gonna stay at 2. Houston, you fucking need to beat somebody good like the Minnesota Vikings this week, and I'll put you at 2. Like. What's your fucking logic? You have none. You just fucking.
What are you from Jersey?
Huh?
So what are you from Jersey?
Yeah, fuck yourself. I'm here for Bob. It's just crazy. Whatever. We'll just go through the fucking games. I have bars and their picks. Let me be nice. I will read bars, winners, and losers just real fast, just to see what he fucking said. We will not touch on them, but I'm curious. I didn't read them. I just ignored it. His winners. Patriots. Sam Darnold. Malik Willis, in that order.
Wow, he had a lot of. Okay.
I mean,
Losers. Pete Carmichael Jr.
It's good.
Rams. Bryce Young, in that order.
His 1 is very, very solid. I think his 2 and 3 are very basic, but 2 out of 3.
I just think it's really funny that Bryce Young, like, Panthers. What are you trying to do? Like, what's your plans? Like,
Did you hear the story that Frank Reich and Josh McCown wanted C.J. Stroud and Tepper?
oh yeah,
Overdid
and
them.
Tepper made them draft Bryce Young.
That's insane. Like
Yeah.
he should go to as many restaurants and take off people's hats and just leave the football operation.
McCown was literally starting to.
we does C.J. Stroud have a Heisman? I think not.
Josh McCown was literally starting to like give Stroud pieces of the fucking playbook
Should have.
in the pre-draft process.
Josh McCown was right.
Yeah, I think Stroud would still have not done as well.
No, not as well, but they would at least be like turning.
I think he would have adapted. But like that franchise just doesn't know how to build the team. So, also, I think looking back, there might be a steal of the draft. I think Joe Alt, if anybody needed an offensive lineman, they should have just jumped and traded
He
on.
should
Like,
have been the first one off the board.
That's
Or no,
the,
no, he
the
wasn't.
matchup this week of TJ Watt.
yeah,
That's gonna be fun.
it's gonna be a blast. Okay, we will go game by game. We will start with the Patriots on Thursday night, going to the Jets. Jets. Coach of the year still on. They're 1-1, but it's still a possibility. Who wants to start? I will keep this as a. Who wants to
I'll
figure
start,
it out?
I guess.
Go ahead, Scully. Who you got, and how much points are you putting on it?
So these games are always weird because the Jets quite literally are allergic to beating the Patriots. But also, it seems unfathomable that the Patriots would even win this game. I think it's going to be relatively close. It's going to be weird. It's going to be a bad, boring-ass game. But the Jets, I think, will win, so I'll take the Jets for 7 points.
The cat agrees. You said Jets for 7?
7.
I'm going Jets at 1 point. Not that I'm not like super like, not that I don't think it will happen. I have a bad luck of picking stuff, and it's the first game of the week, and I'm just not going to do anything crazy.
And they called me down for the Jets at 1 last week.
They keep them. Listen. When I have a team pitted high, I just need to keep them where they're at. So I am going
one for every single week
on Thursdays.
No, just overall.
Do I pick the Jets at 1 point every week?
No, will you pick the Jets at 1 point every week to make sure you don't jinx them?
No. I just can't pick them at 16. It's a philosophy. Who else? Anybody else point value?
I'm with Scully. I have the Jets at 7. These games this week are scary as fuck, and I hate most of them.
A lot of toss-ups.
Yeah, so I don't feel great about it. I could see a scenario where it's a very mucky-muck game. Patriots
I'm
win.
fine losing 7 points on this. If it means that my agenda of Sala being fired stays true.
No, Coach of the Year instead. Coho.
I am gonna go with New England 4-2. I think the Patriots are kind of playing above where I think everyone thought they were going to be a little bit. I don't think they're great, but I think they're winning more than they should. But yeah, I'm going to say 2 points. 2 points. I'll take New England.
Okay. Mark.
Yeah. Doing a little bit of switching around here. Didn't affect these. Yeah, this game makes me really nervous. I really like the Jets, but it's still divisional, and the Patriots, they're looking kind of like a couple of years ago when it was Mac Jones' rookie season, and it's they look better than we think they are, and I don't know. I'll still pick the Jets. They're at home, but I'm only going 2 points. Yeah, I don't feel good about it.
And how many points did you say? Sorry.
2.
2 and Jets. Okay. Nazario and make sure you're putting this in the app. By the way, Mark. People don't forget. Nazario and Barr both picked New England for 1 point.
Interesting.
So it is basically almost a true split. So interesting there. Next game, Chicago Bears going into Indianapolis. I will lead. I think Caleb Williams is a bad quarterback. I have stated this multiple times. DJ Moore currently hates him. And his receivers don't respect him. That being said, they don't. They don't. They can't get past the nail polish. And I'm not against nail polish because my first baseman for my favorite team ever is big nail polish guy. That being said, I think Chicago wins this game. I would be dumb to think I think the Colts are a bad team. It'd be really funny next week for me to curse them and they'd lose. But I think Chicago wins. I have to see them be able to run the ball. Chicago, if they don't move against this defense, sorry, I'm very low on them for the rest of the season. They were Swift may never want to touch the ball again after Sunday night, but hopefully he does. I have them for 4 points. Coho.
I'm taking the Bears for 6. I think the Colts are worse than. I think the Bears are a better team than the Colts, purely on defense. So take the Bears.
That defense is elite.
It's one.
They only one touchdown to the so that is what it is. Mark.
No, yeah, I put this down. I'm just gonna stick with it. It's gonna ride out Indy for one more week. I'm gonna take them for 5.
Nice.
You're gonna put Indy.
Yeah.
How many? You say 6?
5.
5. Sorry, I'm having hearing problems tonight. Robert.
Yeah, I respect it. I definitely would have had the Colts won last week. I would give them the edge if I saw something that made me think that they could be good, but they didn't. So I'm gonna go with the Bears because they have the best unit, and that's the defense. And we saw the Colts against a decent defense, and they struggled. So against a good defense, I assume they will struggle more. And I assume Keenan Allen will be back, and they'll run the ball with Swift. I hope.
How many points?
3 for 3.
I think that Sweat might make Richardson do the Tua hands. Scully.
No DeForest Buckner on that D line. Laiatu Latu is questionable as well. So I don't think we'll have an issue running the ball. I think that Caleb will actually have a good game this week. I think he'll figure it out.
You're
and
hoping.
You'll just violate that Colts front. Funny, if you asked me this question on this game like a month ago, I would have said the Colts win, but they've looked much worse than I could have thought. So I'm going to take the Bears for 9.
Oof.
Put your nuts on the table. I like it.
Boys.
All right, everybody ready for my doom pick of the week?
Oh.
The team that is guaranteed to lose, so you can adjust your points accordingly. I have a good record of 2-0 against doing this team. So I'll do a quote. I'll do a quote from the quarterback for the losing team last year. Oh no, I just threw it to the other team. Denver Broncos go into Tampa Bay.
Oh my God!
I have Tampa for 16. I think Tampa.
Fucking God!
So I'm not telling you what to do. By the way, Nazario Bears for 6, Barr Bears for 2. So
everybody's pretty much besides Mark. Mark is.
Hey, Mark needs to make up some points. I don't blame him for taking the shots.
Take a shot. Take them for 5. I like them.
Anybody? So go ahead. Anybody want to throw out their bet?
This was my 16. I've now changed it to my 15 because fuck you.
Not to. I mean, I wanted to use this team for the next segment, and Cody, you mentioned that it's hard when you lose the 16s. I've lost the 16s the first 2 weeks myself.
Have you really?
I have. I picked the Bengals and I picked the Ravens. So fuck the AFC.
Oh, so we've been together. Okay,
yeah, we've been together on that.
Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's me. It could definitely be me for sure. I don't disagree. But I had them at 16 and I moved them up to 15 because if I in that segment, I think I fucking fail at 16s. But 15s I'm good. So Bucks for 15.
Okay. Bar's also died on the hill with 16 points in there right now. So, Mark,
can't risk it. I
should have done it last week. Doing it this week. So I got the Bucks at 14.
Okay, and Coho.
I also have the Bucks at 14.
I hate this for everybody.
Broncos are winning this game.
Broncos are winning this in a rout. Zach Wilson's coming in the second quarter and lighting them up.
I'll say the one thing that gives me pause is Vita Vea is hurt. So there's a potential that they could
son of a bitch.
They can muck it up, run the ball, maybe, and protect Bo Nix.
Vita Vea's storyline that he how he got to call it, lied to the coach to get into the Washington is so good. Okay, this should be a fun one. I know we're already split on this. Oh, Nazario's Tampa Bay by 7 for 7 points, and Barr's to 16. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. The Chargers go into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. I'll just lead with Nazario is at 10 points for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh man, fuck this up. I wish he was here. I would fucking put him.
Barr is Los Angeles Chargers for 4 points.
Oh my god. Okay.
Who wants to? Robert can't go first. So Mark, you look good. You look strong. Who you got?
I mean, listen. I feel like you can say that once per show. Like the more
I feel like I'm going to yell at you tomorrow, so might as well take the compliments now.
That makes me very sad. They're basically the same teams. I'm just not really sure what to do with this one. I think I picked them the last 2 weeks. They haven't screwed me over here. So continue that. Take the Steelers, but I'm gonna take them for a whopping 1 point.
I like it. Coho.
Yes, sir. I am going with the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers for 1. It's not the. I don't trust the Chargers. I don't know what to make of the Steelers. I'm gonna lean Steelers for 1.
This may be the most boring game ever. Like, this game has the potential to be. I don't know what the under is. If it was 15 points, I'm taking the under.
Scully.
So there's 2 factors we need to consider. Number 1, the Steelers can't be more than 2 games above or below 500. We know this.
That's not true.
And, well, if they want
Don't
to
be disrespectful.
I mean, they could lose 3 in a row.
And secondly, Jim Harbaugh lost to Justin Fields twice in college. There's no way in hell he's going to lose to Justin Fields a 3rd time. So I'm going to take the Chargers for 1 point.
I will go next. Chargers for 1. Is Russell Wilson slated to play?
No.
Hey, Tomlin did we're preparing as if Justin Fields is the starter.
God.
I'm going to go with it still. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go. 7 points for Pittsburgh. I'm very confident. I just muted myself and started talking. That was interesting. I think the defense works really well for them, and I trust them at home. I feel like smash mouth football. I think they're successful on the run. They have to be. LA has to be successful on the run. I don't believe they will be successful on the run against that defense, so they're going to have to force out some passes, but the secondary for Pittsburgh is just as strong and is going to force some turnovers. I think this is like a 22-10, 18-10 version, basically, but in the reverse. I think it's Pittsburgh winning. When Renegade starts, he shits his pants. I don't know. Thoughts? And Robert.
I know it sounds homery, but the last 2 weeks there have been some weird things that have happened in the course of key drives that have prevented more scores from happening. Weird penalties, weird play calls, stuff that I don't think is at the foot of Justin Fields. I think it's more at the foot of Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin and how they scheme for things. Again, I'll say it. I think they want Russell Wilson to be the starter because Mike Tomlin didn't think Justin Fields could do anything, and he put Russ in pole position before they even were in camp, and that was really fucking stupid. That being said, they won 2 games on the road. They weren't quality opponents, but they won. Falcons look a little bit better because they beat the Eagles now. But, whatever. I think they are almost mirror copies of each other, but Tomlin doesn't lose hype up games at home. Games against inferior opponents at home, yes, absolutely. But against hyped up opponents, Jim Harbaugh 2-0 against 2-0, this isn't the kind of game he would lose. So I'm going with the home team. But Cody's more bullish than I am. I'm only going for 4. Because I could see like stupid fucking Quentin Johnston catching 2 more touchdowns because he's the other guy. I don't think is going to shadow him. I don't think they're going to shadow because they suck as wide receivers, but I don't think he's going to be across from JPJ as much, and he could take advantage potentially. But we talked about it. There's going to be some fun matchups, Alt versus Watt, how Herbert's going to react after getting rolled up on the previous week and having the foot injuries before. Dobbins coming back. We'll see what that looks like. So yeah, Steelers.
They'll probably tear something.
My fantasy team hopes not, but
Fair. Okay. Next game on the slate. Poor, pitiful Daniel Jones coming in to the dog pound. I'll lead so you can act accordingly. I have Cleveland, 15 points. I think Daniel looked okay, but it's against the Commanders, which Dan Quinn has not had a full off. Like, he's had an off season. He hasn't had like chances to build his team out yet fully. Myles Garrett is going to feast. It just is going to be that thing. Neighbors, I think, is the real deal. I think Neighbors is a really good. He had that great drop. He did really good with the drop. But other than that, I think he's a real good player. I just don't think he's going to have enough time to get it to him. I just don't. I think there's going to be millions of people in his face. It's going to be a hard night for Daniel Jones. And then Dable is going to have to answer more questions. Are you worried about your job? I have Daniel Jones as my quarterback. If this is what does me in, then this is what does me in. Like, you didn't get me a quarterback in the offseason. I don't know what the fuck you want me to do. Like,
tried
crazy.
Tried really hard.
Yes. So Nazario is at 14 for Cleveland. Barr is at 8 points for Cleveland. We'll go back to Robert. Who you got?
I hate how much I'm picking the North because it fucked me last week.
North remembers.
Yeah, the North remembers. Yeah, I don't see how the Giants move the ball at all. And the Browns at home only need to score like 10 probably to win this game, honestly. And I think Deshaun could do that. Maybe. So I'm picking the Browns for 12.
He didn't look too bad on Sunday. Didn't look great. Scary.
Yeah, I'm going to go Browns for 8. I think there's some weird shit could happen. Giants can figure it out, but Neighbors can have a great game. So there's just more stuff I'm more confident about. So the Browns for 8.
Coho.
Browns for
4?
4.
You know they're playing the Giants, right?
Yeah, I do.
You know it goes up to 16?
Yeah. You know Deshaun Watson sucks? Yeah, okay. Me too.
He beat Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and Trevor Lawrence is kind of pretty fucking bad too, isn't he?
He sold all the stock.
Yeah.
I sold all my stock.
Fucking say it again, baby. Mark, you love Deshaun Watson. What's your picks?
I will say this. I'm in one fantasy league where my 2 starting quarterbacks are Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson. So I will probably be watching this game on Sunday. The Browns have betrayed me, as of late. I should be more bullish on this game, but I just can't do it. Even though there's a chance that, I guess you guys remember the Predators, where like the Super Predator pulled out like Walton Goggins' spine out of it. Yeah, there's a chance that Myles Garrett does that to Daniel Jones on Sunday. So I'll still pick the Browns. I'm only gonna do 7.
Barr, thank you so much for asking. It's the same team that you picked for 16, Tampa Bay. So say goodbye to your 16. All right, next game. Green Bay Packers go into Tennessee. I have Tennessee with 3 points. I think Will Levis sucks. Don't get me wrong. I think he's bad. I think he's always been bad. I watched him at Kentucky. I don't care if you can throw a ball from your knees. That's not efficient in the NFL, so it means nothing to me. That front seven of Tennessee is very strong. They have been in every quarterback's face the whole game. And under center, what Indianapolis failed to do is not what Tennessee will fail to do tonight, that game. They will not let Josh Jacobs get off that ball. They will force Malik to have to beat them in through the air. And I think there's enough talent on Tennessee to get past the offense, even if it's a slow, sluggish game of like 14-10, 13-10, like something very low scoring overall. But I think Malik Willis has this. Malik Willis goes back to reality of who he is, and I think they're going to feast because they got into who did they play last week? Tennessee,
The Jets. It was close. I mean, it was that game.
Yeah,
was,
super close. Got in his face constantly. Caleb Williams was all in his face the entire first week, and I think Malik Willis threw 122 yards against Indianapolis. So you're not even gonna get a shot. They're gonna load the box and they're just going to completely destroy you. So unless it's an end around swing passes, I just don't see it end up happening. So that's why I went with Cleveland for 3. I've been told I'm wrong by 2 other people. Barr and Nazario both picked Green Bay. Barr picked Green Bay for 7 points. Nazario picked him for 5 points. I just don't see it. If you're going to pick Green Bay, I just don't know how you're not in the 1s, 2s, or 3s. That's just me. We'll go Mark.
I mean, you don't see it for 5 points. I got some. I mean, listen, we can count out like we I know we just spent a whole first half, shitting on Indianapolis. But Green Bay still didn't have a fucking quarterback. They still managed to win the game. Like, I don't know. Green Bay just feels inevitable at this point. So, and like, I don't care what you say. I have no confidence in Tennessee at this point. So yeah, like I'll take Green Bay for 8.
My thing is, if my only counterpoint is Tennessee was going to win the game against Chicago, decided to fuck it away. They were close to beating the Jets. I think if Tennessee gets up to that lead on Green Bay, who are they trusting to get them back in the game? Malik Willis? The guy and the former team of Malik Willis. They have the game plan on this guy. If anything, they know him and they know why they traded him. Like, I don't know. If any team's going to do it, and again, this comes back to it. For Tennessee to be 0-2, there has to be a correction in the universe. No one goes, they're not going to lose this game. They have to win somewhere. I think this is the closest they win. But 8 points, 8. Mark, enjoy the basement. You're doing really well there. Coho, you're a huge Green Bay fan. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you. Tennessee for 5. There's nothing the Packers can do that Tennessee's defense is not built to stop. All Tennessee's got to do is run a jet sweep with Calvin Ridley and Green Bay crumbles. So it's okay.
I think Green Bay's defense is a little bit better than that, but I think there's going to be a turnover on Malik Willis' side would change.
You know what Tennessee could do right now to guarantee they win? Start anyone other than Will Levis. Put Mason Rudolph in, and you can probably win this game.
The red-nosed
Scully.
Call
Scully
Ryan
also,
Tannehill. I guarantee you Ryan Tannehill will be better than Levis.
No, he
Tannehill
bad.
sucks, but he's better than Levis.
No, he bad. Scully, also a big Green Bay Packer fan.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I'm right with you. I think the biggest reason that we believe that Indy would win is because their offense would put up a lot of points, and they didn't. And Indy's defense isn't nearly as good as Tennessee's. They are killers at stopping the run. I mean, this is a team that, Brees Hall wasn't doing shit, so New York just turned to their next running back and said, hey, 20-year-old kid, bulldoze your way to the end zone, 3 points. So I as much as I want to give Matt LaFleur credit for another improbable win, because I do really respect him as a head coach, I think Tennessee has to win here. I think they win. So I'll take Tennessee for 3.
Okay. How many points?
3.
Perfect. Lockstep. Robert, who you got?
I thought week 2 there'd be a lot of get rights. There were a couple, but not a whole lot. I think there's a number of get rights, and I think Tennessee, as you mentioned, Cody, the universe will balance out. You know who looked really good? Old man Calvin Ridley. Remember we were discussing wide receiver duos and stuff?
He had that great catch, but aside from that,
I got 29 points in fantasy, and I loved every minute of it. It was beautiful. I think there's little chance that Will Levis can fuck up this badly a third time in a row. And if he does, he should not have a leash anymore. The leash should be dropped into a bucket of lava. There should be no leash anymore. He should be put out to pasture. I'm picking Tennessee, but because it's weird and I hate them, I'm only picking for 1.
Green Bay for 1 or Tennessee for 1?
Tennessee for 1.
Okay. Sorry. Doing 7 things at the same time. This should be a fun. Maybe I save this. No, we got some good. Yeah, I'll switch. I'm going to save those for the end. This is going to be fun. Miami flying across the country with no quarterback to take on Seattle. I could see myself getting punched in the mouth for this game. I understand it. I don't trust Miami's defense. I didn't trust them with Tua fully, so that didn't really matter. I think I have Seattle for 10. I just think it's going to be a bad situation. I don't know. Mark.
Yeah, Dolphins got the long week, and look, they needed it. I mean, Skylar Thompson. Is this going to be Skylar Thompson's first career start?
No, he started like a couple games and he started the playoff game against the Bills and almost beat them that one year, which is hilarious.
Okay. Listen, he's coming in here. He has to start out the season fucking centric. Seattle has definitely played a lot of close games. I just don't see how the Dolphins win this game. I can't see any scenario for that. This one, especially with the week that we have here, this feels like as close to a lock as they're come. I'll take the Seahawks for 15.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just don't see how Skylar. You put him under center and he does what necessary, and especially on that team that's built with defense at this point. Their offense isn't the great, but you don't trust their on the defensive side. I'm with you, Mark, but I just couldn't go fully send it because I think there's more locks. But Robert,
I think the only way that it would happen is if people broke free for long touchdowns. But the thing is, Seattle can do the same thing. We saw it against a defense that I think might be better than them than the Patriots. I think they're better than them. Be prepared as Skylar Thompson for 20 catches between HAN and Jonnu Smith or some shit. He's not getting the ball down the field to Waddle and Hill. They're going to have to make their bones by making 3 dudes miss and streak. I hate that I have Tyreek in our league and have to like just throw him out there hoping and praying that he breaks something. I have Seattle for 11.
Okay. Coho.
I have Seattle for 3. I'm worried about it.
Do you understand the assignment?
It feels like that's a trap game in the way where we're like, oh, Miami's terrible. They're going to fucking blow. And then Miami just has a weirdly on week. I just think it could happen. So.
To each his own.
I respect it.
I don't disagree 100%. Scully.
There was a moment in last week's game where Geno Smith just said, fuck it, and stopped handing the ball to Zach Charbonnet. And that's why they won. He just threw that ball all over the field, and with 300-plus yards, JSN and Metcalf had phenomenal days. And that's, I mean, as long as Kenneth Walker is out, that's how they're going to be winning on offense, is just by throwing the ball. Jalen Ramsey has a shell of himself. I don't trust Miami's secondary. I think it's going to be another high yardage day for Geno and JSN and Metcalf. And I don't think Miami's going to be able to keep up, regardless if Tyreek and Waddle can have good days. So I'm going to take Seattle for 12.
Next game, the retirement home is hosting the team that just lost to Minnesota Vikings. I'm just going to lead. Oh, Nazario's got 2 points for Seattle. Barr has them for 12. I have the 49ers for 11. I just don't know what they have anymore. Like, they've lost everybody. Their O-line is shredded. Both the receivers are gone. They can run the ball as much as they want, but Fred Warner's there just ready to punch the ball out. By the way, he is now lighting up the highlights again with punch balls. Has a really good right hook. I have him for 11. I just don't see how the Rams can win this game. I think Matthew Stafford joins him this week. I think he gets, in the injured, Puka and go around the world just traveling when the rest of the team dies. I think he's going to get the fuck out of Dodge because it ain't working.
Ewers to LA?
Dude. If he can't protect his ribs, no. Scully, who you got?
Because of you, this is now my 16-point game. So, Niners for 16. I feel so bad for Sean McVay. I mean,
Mark fucking cursed this team. Mark fucking cursed this team.
I mean, they really could have had something substantial going on for years and years, and these guys just can't stay healthy. And
remember when McVay lost? He won the Super Bowl, and there was questions like, "Is he coming back?"
Yeah.
Well, he should have fucking left.
He should have went.
He might retire after this year.
I know.
Went with Aaron Donald. They should have been a package deal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or he might do the McCarthy, where he takes a year off, travels the world, learns Buddha, and then comes back and goes to somebody else.
Yeah. Coho.
I got the Niners for 9. Rams, I think, will be better in the back half of the year. They usually are a slow starting team, but they're not going to be good today.
Do you think the Rams are going to come back?
I think the Rams will be better in the second half of the year when they get healthy. I think they always play better in the second half of the year.
Robert, I just don't believe that bullshit at all. That's crazy to me.
Last 3 years it's happened that way.
I understand, but this is this. You know what Father's time is? Undefeated. It's catching up. Every time, it's just like
LeBron has to throw. LeBron has to throw $5 million a year to keep him at that or whatever.
Yeah. Robert, who you got?
Yeah, I'm with Lockstep and Scully. I was going to put Bucks at 16 and this at 15, but you fucking cursed it, Cody, so I switched them. I said get right week.
Jokes on, if you lose this one and I win mine, it's you, not me.
Yeah, well, we can, sparse that out. That would be great. Yeah, I said get right week. I don't know how a team gets more right than the 49ers against this team. Like,
holy fuck, that dome. Like, what do you guys do on the opponent side of the 49ers alone? Like, something fucking magical happen. It will be 30 years from now, and I'll be placing the sports bet, and it will be San Francisco at Minnesota, and I will lock in the Minnesota money line, even if it's like this. They've won there 70 times in a row now. It doesn't matter. 30 years ago, this is what was the thing, and I'm going to lock it in.
30 years ago, they were like 0-14.
Nice.
Brock Purdy is 0-2 against the 49ers.
Brock Purdy, every time he sees a trip to Minnesota, he's like, "Oh fuck! Like, can I just take that week off, please?" 6 sacks he got sacked in that game. Ugh, gross.
Mark, who you got?
Yeah, the loss to Minnesota is still weird. I don't care. They lost them a bunch of times. It took them down a little bit, but the Rams. I don't know what the fuck the Rams are anymore. Just they're probably gonna get killed, but I'll take I got the Niners for 10.
You know what it did with the Eagles the way they are and the 49ers the way they are? The NFC is fucking wide open with who can take the NFC at this point. Like, I don't know who is available. Like, even Arizona to Detroit just fucking around like crazy, which we'll talk about. Arguably the game of the week, it could be, like, for some. But I'm not going to talk about that yet because I'll save that for the last one. Carolina coming to Las Vegas with Andy motherfucking Dalton. I've lost Vegas by 14. I'm sorry. I think Max Crosby eats. He's going to lift Sam. Bryce is going to come back into this game because Andy Dalton's going to die. Like, it's going to be like, finish him. Like, Davis is going to stand up from his thing and go, kill him. And he's going to kill him on the field. Yeah, I have him for 14. Carolina is that bad. They could have the possibility of going 0-16. Now, Andy Dalton is a quarterback with pocket awareness, knows how to get the ball out, has a good time management. This game could easily be the opposite. But I'm going to ride it because Carolina, until Carolina shows me fucking anything else, I'm going to take them. So, Nazario is also 12 for 49ers and Barr is 10 for 49ers. We'll go Coho.
I'm taking the Raiders for 16.
Yeah, they're fucking losing. That fucking sucks so bad. Damn it. God damn it. We're too high on them. This is going to be bad. Scully.
The only reason this is not my 16 is because A, it's the Raiders, and I still don't trust them. And B, as somebody who's watched Andy Dalton for a long time, he's always on some fuck ass shit that some games he looks like the greatest quarterback you've ever seen, and some games he looks like the worst quarterback you've ever seen. We'll see which one it is this week because one of them is going to come out. So he might die in the first quarter. He also might win this game by 10 for Carolina and get them their first win.
Okay. How many did you say? What was your point value?
13.
Okay. Mark.
When I did this yesterday, I guess I had some confidence that maybe Andy Dalton could lead them to a win. And then when I started making out the point values, I thought to myself, no, that's fucking stupid. We'll just, go whole faithful here. Just take the Raiders for 11.
Fair. Robert?
I do all manners of picks, and I did straight picks, and I was like, I'm going to pick Carolina because I think the Raiders will have this extreme letdown after winning that Ravens game, and Andy Dalton's going to come in and be competent. And then I remembered in week 1 where I chose the Panthers, and they got fucking their doors blown off. Now, maybe the Saints are good, but I said I'd never pick Carolina again. So I switched it, and I put Raiders, but just for 8, because I do think there's that possibility.
Okay. All right. Last one until we get to the good games. Washington comes into Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati fucks up Washington bad. They are so fucking mad. Like, I don't think. Again, I could see. I just don't know, and I could be wrong. But I have Cincinnati by 13. I think it is pretty. All right, bye. Garbage. Jesus Christ. Whatever. I don't even care what his picks are. Fucking. Yeah, I just think Cincinnati is angry. It makes no sense why they wouldn't win this game. I've not seen anything from Washington that makes me. I think their run game's good, but honestly, their defense against Kansas City looked real strong. Their defense against, honestly, the Patriots looked strong. They just kept making errors. I think Burrow, even with T. Higgins, I think Gesicki or whatever his name is, the tight end that was in Miami, I think he's got him and Burrow have a connection. They're hitting off each other real well. If Chase gets out of his own damn head, I'm like, holy shit, just pay him. Like, I don't fucking understand. NFL money isn't real, so I just don't understand why we're not paying him at this point. But whatever. But yeah, I would have signed him tomorrow. Yeah, so by 13. Robert.
Yeah, again, get right stuff. There's no way the Bengals go 0-3. Seems insane to me, and seems weird that the Manders would be the team to do it and be 2-1, potentially be at the top of the division. That seems crazy. So Bengals for 9.
Bengals by 9. Okay. Mark.
Yeah, the Bengals' first game of the season needs to be at Kansas City every single year from here on out. Because maybe then they'll at least try at the beginning of the season. They at least look like a good team now. So, yeah, they'll probably lose this week because, they're the fucking Bengals. But I'll still take them for 12 this week.
Scully?
Yeah, I'm going to take them for 10. Their biggest roadblock, honestly, is to get Jamar Chase off his high horse and more involved. I get it. You didn't get the contract you wanted. I get that you're frustrated. But at the end of the day, the biggest way to make yourself more money is to help your team win. That's one of the biggest things for me, and why I don't get why people just kind of quiet quit on their team, because that's not going to help you get more money. People are not going to want to sign you if you're at the price you want if you're acting like that.
I think the organization just fucked around with them, to be honest.
Well, the organization is immature at all levels. Like the coaching staff doesn't know how to have tough conversations. The front office doesn't know how to have tough conversations. They butchered it with Higgins, somehow got him to sign a franchise tag, and they butchered it with Chase.
I never understand it because money is not real. It makes no sense. Like, you can sign their contract and then convert it to a signing bonus and get it off the cap space. Like, you're billionaires. What the fuck do you care about $10 million here and there? Like you wipe your ass with $10 million. Like, and I hate fan bases like, yeah, we shouldn't really pay because the cap fit. Bitch, ain't your money. Sign his ass. Like, right now, there's not going to be another receiver you're going to find right away that's going to be Jamar Chase. Just not. You have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in the same unit. Sign both of them, or you're that playoff run that you had that time is never coming back. It's gone. Coho also picked Cincinnati for 13 points. All right, so we're going to go to the great games. Start with an interesting one. Two disappointings last week. It is the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Robert, you are the North aficionado, so what do you got?
There used to be a time when going into Jerry World meant something, and they won like 15 straight regular season games or whatever it was, and then they got the doors blown off by Jordan Love, and then they just last week got it blown off even worse by fucking Derek Carr and Rashid Shaheed and Alvin Kamara especially. If the Ravens are who people think they are, they should go in and win this game. I don't want them to win personally, but I don't see a scenario where they don't. It seems weird to me that they would lose this game and be 0-3. I hope for it, but
Wouldn't that be crazy?
it would be nuts, and I'd love every second of it. So I'm picking the Ravens for 5, but I'd be happy to be wrong. I don't care. I have a little bit of leeway before I go to the basement. So.
Say what?
I have a little bit of leeway before I could fall to the basement. So if that's a loss, I'll take it.
You're right. I'm also going with Baltimore. They have this weird strategy where they hit Zay Flowers a lot in the first half, and he like tears up defenses, and then in the second half they forget he's on the field. I don't know if he's wearing camouflage or what's the deal, but like let's try to find him. I have them for 2 because I think they're both in question mark games at this point. I think Baltimore. In my head, I can see the Cowboys being 1-2 because they did nothing in the offseason to change their and why other teams got better. I can't foresee a world in my head where the Ravens are 0-3. It just doesn't. That doesn't compute. I could see 1-2. So at that point, and I don't think they'll be. They don't have a run game. Dallas doesn't have a run game, and I think you have to have a run game to set up your pass game. It's how NFL works. And Ezekiel Elliott is not who he was. So, and I think, I don't know, maybe they've learned stuff on, I don't know, but like, and I also think, like, but I also, this why it's 2, because I could see Dallas being like, we just got our doors blown off at home. So I think it should be a great game. Will it be? Not sure. Mark, you look super relaxed. Who you got?
So relaxed.
I'm jealous how relaxed you look sometimes.
Yeah, I can't force myself to pick the Cowboys here. Just not gonna. Just hate them. They are on par with like the Eagles by how much I hate to watch fucking Cowboys, and then they're always on the TV over. I have they're usually the game of the week or whatever the fuck, and I have to see them either like win a good game that they shouldn't have won, or like fucking get their asses kicked for no reason at all. Like I could very much, I can see them winning this game like 48-10, like kind of exactly how they lost to the Saints. But I have to believe that Harbaugh gets this team right, and they're not going to go 0-3 because in a lot of ways, I think this is more of a must-win for the Ravens at this point. I think the Cowboys, the way that division is, can still come back, but the Ravens, there's no way the Ravens can lose 3 straight.
What's your points?
No, it's 3. Actually, yeah, 3. Ravens are 3.
I was likely on the field last week.
Yeah.
They just don't feel. They didn't target him. It didn't seem like. So it's weird.
He's got like 4 catches.
It's just weird. Like he was literally your cash cow down the run, and then you just forget it.
They just love to target. Like Mark Andrews gets all the routes and all the targets, no matter what the situation. Unless
I thought he got replaced in week 1. Like I thought his job got gone, and now he's like, nope, I'm back to take it.
Yeah, it was just a flip back.
Scully, who you got?
The Ravens for 2. I don't. Again, Dallas doesn't have the ability to run the ball right now, no matter who they put in the hands of. And the key to beat the Cowboys is force Dak to throw it deep. Because if you have a good secondary, which the Ravens do, doesn't matter if which coaches they lost, they still have a formidable unit that is some of the best in football. So unless they can figure out a running game or Zeke de-ages 10 years, it's not going to happen.
Okay, I agree with you. Jacksonville comes to Buffalo. I have Buffalo by 12. That team's bad. The other team's bad. I think they could. I think Buffalo will drop games. They will. It ain't going to be this week. Just doesn't make any sense. They can't figure out. And I love Trevor. We suck right now. No. You have sucked. You've been sucking. It's not just now. You've sucked. By the way, Barr 6 points for Baltimore. Nazario 3 points for Baltimore. Coho 7 points for Baltimore. Coho is 15 for Buffalo, 16 for Nazario for Buffalo, 13 for Barr. High scoring. Is everybody in lockstep? Is this pretty high for everybody? Anybody low?
I got him for 11.
Okay. Robert?
I'm at 14.
Okay. And Mark?
You know what? Hispanics think alike. I got Buffalo for 16.
Yep. Will not touch that for chances of being canceled. You can say it. I can't. I was just your team partner. I can't say anything else. Okay. Houston goes to Minneapolis. I can tell you where one person put their points. Everybody else is on Houston, including myself, at 5 points. Honestly, if Justin Jefferson plays, which he looks better than he did the day before, he's day-to-day, anything's possible. But I think who was their former pass rusher for Minnesota? That's now
Daniel Hunter.
Yeah, I think he's going to meet Sam Darnold a few times. I think Will Anderson Jr. is arguably one of the best defensive rushers in the game. Ask Caleb Williams. He's got his probably his knee tattooed on his ass at this point, still in this game. Yeah, that hit where he just did. He just leaps like a panther. I felt so bad. If you're a Bears fan, you had to wince.
I laughed, honestly. That was actually really funny.
And I love C.J. Stroud at the end of that game. Stop taking those hits. If I was him, I was like, you think I have a fucking choice? You son of a bitch. I'm getting killed.
I mean, C.J. shouldn't be fucking talking. He's got a great old line. He never takes those hits.
Exactly. Yeah, don't take them. Bitch, come play center. Get him center, please.
False starting for me 50% of the time.
Right. Scully, well, who you got?
I want the Texans for 14. I'm sick and tired of fucking I'm sick and tired of this fucking team. Texans are going to win. Stroud is phenomenal. And honestly, I think it's too many weapons for that defense to stop, because if you limit Tank Dell's athleticism, if you force Diggs into his own sideline, Nico Collins still runs for 100 yards on you. There's no way to chop up that offense. It's so dynamic. And even with Mixon, injured, they can still run the ball pretty effectively. But I think Stroud is at that point where you don't doubt him. You just don't doubt him unless it's against like a generational defense, or like the Ravens were last year. So Texans for 14, their defense is going to suffocate Darnold, and I don't think they're to run the ball either.
Robert.
When we were doing winners and losers, I was almost going to pick prognosticators as losers, because I honestly don't know who's good. I think the Chiefs and the Texans are good, and you could tell me anybody else was good or bad, and I'd believe it. I remember we always talk about, like, with the Bryce Young thing, how trades don't work out for one side. It's always one-sided. Isn't it great that Will Anderson Arizona trade really worked out for both teams? Very happy for both.
Yeah,
teams. Really nice that worked.
It never works that way. It works efficiently for both. How much do you have them for? Who do you have?
Yeah, fuck the Vikings. This is bullshit. The whole scenario is bullshit the first 2 weeks. I have Texans with 10.
Yeah. I could see them going on a bit of a losing streak, Minnesota, falling back down to earth. Mark.
Yeah, I wish I could, have your guys' confidence. So that, they beat the fucking Niners. So, I still think Texas are going to win. Yeah, because, Nico Collins is him. I'll ride that. I'll keep riding that. I'll take him for 6.
Yeah, I have him for 5, so I'm with you. I think that, listen, I don't want to be on the opposite end of Minnesota pulling off another one. I don't think they will, but who knows? I just don't want to be on there. We are going to 3 more games. We're going to go to Kansas City, going to the Dirty Birds. Kareem Hunt signed off practice squad. Smartest move they could have made because Pacheco is now out. He was effective. Huh?
Now they have a second kicker.
They do. They know how they're doing. I have Kansas City by 9. You can't prove it otherwise. I think classic saying, I think the Eagles lost more than the Falcons won. I think Chris Jones is going to feast on he has been the impact force on every play, every time. He literally, that strip, the fumble that happened, forced him out of the pocket. He disrupted Lamar. I think he has 2 forced fumbles this year already. I think Kirk Cousins' mobility is going to hurt him. I don't think they're going to run the ball effectively. And I think playing indoors with Mahomes just benefits Mahomes. There's no outside thing that you can go. And Taylor gets to go to Atlanta, so that's good for the NFL. She'll hate the city just like everybody else hates that city. We will go with Mark.
Yeah, I could see this being a sneaky good game, just because on some level, listen, the Eagles absolutely lost that game, 100%. But Kirk Cousins still had to lead that 70-yard drive down the field.
Absolutely.
He looked like vintage Kirk Cousins on that drive. It'll do wonders for his confidence. So I think I'm with you still. I'm taking Kansas City for 9, but I could see this. I could potentially see it going either way.
As long as Drake London and every NFL player stops doing the guns, you might stop getting that penalty. I don't know why that's everybody wants to play.
In the crowd.
Oh, what an idiot. It's in college. It's this. Stop doing it. Just stop shooting. Robert.
The Eagles are dumb. The Chiefs, for how everybody says about anything about them, they're at least not dumb. They sort of know what they're doing. I don't give a shit about the run game. Worthy in turf, sure, yes, they'll burn everybody. Falcons have a lot of draft picks on the O-line and on the offense in general, but I don't think in the interior. So I agree with your point, Cody, about Chris Jones. So I'm picking the Chiefs for 13. Falcons, they blessed themselves. They got blessed in that game. I don't think it's going to happen twice.
KC for 13?
Yep.
Scully.
This game kind of worries me just a little bit for Kansas City. They've been very up and down. They've been very inconsistent to start the year. And again, they do this a lot, especially in the early part of the season. But I'm gonna take them for 5. I could definitely see a scenario where the Falcons pull it out towards the end. This honestly reminds me of when they went to Green Bay at the start of December last year, fooled around and found out.
Yep.
So, because I think Kirk has found something with Mooney and London, and if they can build on that dynamic, it's going to be a close game.
So what do you have?
For 5.
KC?
Yeah, KC for 5.
Okay. By the way, the only person who picked Minnesota is Coho. He has them for 11 points. Nazario has them for 9. Houston for 9, and Barr has them for 5. Barr 11 points for KC. Nazario 8 points for KC. Coho 11 points for KC. Now we go to 2 games that are going to be must watch. Detroit coming into Arizona. I would not have liked to be in that facility on Monday morning with Dan Campbell. He was not he can't be that happy with his team, especially that play at the end of the game where the end of the half where they didn't have timeouts. They like false started or they had 12 men on the field when he spiked the ball. 10-second runoff, went to the down, should have got a field goal. I like Arizona a lot. I think they are good. I think Arizona drops this game. Not that I don't think Arizona is a good team. I think they are. I just think Aiden Hutchinson is really good. Like, puts a name on him. I think Detroit. I think every team like this can start slow because they're good and they'll be there at the end. I don't think that really matters for some teams like that. I think Arizona will drop this. I think Detroit gets back on the wagon. We haven't seen Goff put a real good game out right now. He hasn't played well in either one. But he also played against, at the time, two really good teams. I think Arizona's defense is not as up to those other two at that point. So that's why I had to go. I went Detroit 8 points. But I could also see Arizona taking this. But I think Detroit is going to have to get Sam Laporta involved. Has to get involved. And I just think they'll have a better – they'll figure some stuff out this week that they didn't have last. Mark.
Yeah, I really don't feel good about this game at all. Like I didn't really believe in the Cardinals.
We know.
Yeah, we know. We were there.
People don't forget.
If they win this game, I will be on them. There's no way around it at that point. They actually beat who we would consider a really good team at that point. Yeah, like Detroit has been kind of flat last couple weeks. I gotta imagine they figure it out. They almost went to the Super Bowl last year, and the team's not that different. So I think that they at least have a shot going on the road winning in Arizona. I'll pick them for 4.
I think it's the same thing where it's like I can see Detroit being 2-1. I can't see them being 1-2. I can see Arizona being 1-2. And yes, Mark, we were all there when we're like, really? And you're like, really? Arizona? We're putting Arizona this time? Yes, buddy. Yes, we are. Robert.
Yeah, the Lions don't make sense to me. They didn't lose anybody. They added Terry and Arnold. Jameson Williams is like credible now, and they're worse. I don't really get it beyond just like maybe some boredom, perhaps. Maybe they thought that they were too good for regular season type things. If you have fantasy players in this game, you're going to have fun because I think this is the most exciting game of the week in terms of fireworks. I think it's going to be like a 38-35 type of deal, and it's going to be fucking sweet. But I'm with you, Cody. I don't like Arizona could be 1-2 and they can still be decent in that division because they'll beat up on each other. I'm picking the Lions for 6.
Scully.
Yeah, I agree with Robert. It's gonna be a lot of fireworks in this game. This is a classic overcorrection for me, like in my head, because in my head I want to think that I want to be like kind of subversive and take the Cardinals for like 3 or 4 points, but I'm like, you know what? It's Dan Campbell after a loss. This team does not lose 2 in a row that often, and I think they'll figure it out. The offense has looked a little shaky, but I think they'll figure it out this week. So I'm going to take the Lions for 6.
I think you all know the game that is last. It's the Philadelphia Eagles going into the New Orleans Saints. I think that's the most question marks. Is the Saints good? Is the Eagles that bad? Or are they going to continue to be bad? Are they going to continue to make mistakes? I'm going to lead with Scully. What's your take?
I'm going the Saints for 4. And again, this might just be a major overcorrection. The Eagles could just blitz the fuck out of them, like I would have thought 2 weeks ago. But if the offense continues to play to that standard, the Eagles' defense is going to have a long day. And on the flip side, Sirianni has to realize that if you don't have A.J. Brown, you got to run the ball. You got to run the ball with Saquon Barkley. You got to run the ball in short situations with Jalen Hurts. But you got to be smart about it. No more of this stupid little flip plays to Kenneth Gainwell or Britton Covey or Grant Calcaterra. Like, use the guys that got you to this point. So, I think Clint Kubiak is the best coaching hire of the entire offseason, without question. And he's going to have another good day against the Eagles defense.
Robert.
I don't want to believe in the Dennis Allen squad yet. Not ready quite yet. If they win this game and they do it convincingly, then I think we got to start looking at them as like, I think it was last year, their schedule was so easy. They were like a dark horse 1 seed. Just people were really high on Derek Carr being added.
I had them at like 11-6, I think.
Yes.
That was my prediction.
It was really weird, and they faltered because they did. I said correction week. I think the Eagles even on a short week, take the failure of what happened and merge it into something that's efficient for the sake of this game. So I'm picking the Eagles, but only for 2.
The team you hate to watch.
Yeah, I
versus...
picked all the teams I hate to win.
Mark, what do you got?
The Eagles have been fucking around and finding out for like the last year and a half at this point. I don't see that stopping next week. The fucking Saints just humiliated the Cowboys in their own home stadium. And now they're going to go back to New Orleans and face another overrated team. Yeah, like I'm ready to buy into this. Because I think Derek Carr is kind of fixed at this point. Like he could at least throw the ball. Like he could chuck it whenever he's when he was a fucking Raider.
I'm just counting your points. I know how much you're putting. That's gross.
And you know what? They didn't do it last year for some reason, but hey, we got Shaheed, we got Olave. Might as well just let Derek Carr air it out. And what do you know? They're doing well. Yeah, like I don't trust the fucking Eagles one bit. I will take the Saints for 13 points.
Okay. Back on the last game, Detroit for Barr for 9, Detroit for 13, Nazario 10 points, Detroit, Coho. Barr 3 points for Philadelphia, Nazario 4 points for the Saints. Coho I thought was going to be the craziest for 8 points for the Saints. I am at 6 points for the Eagles. I understand what's going to happen. I picked Dennis Allen to be fired, so Dennis Allen is winning this game. But if I pick Dennis Allen to win, the Eagles will win. It's a win. It's a lose-lose for me. It does not matter. I had to put it at even. I just put it at 6 points because either one could happen. I hope Philly figures it out. I'm with Mark. I don't think they will, but I can't say Dennis Allen is going to be able to figure it out. So that's it. That's the show. A little longer. Apologize to everybody. We just have a lot of games to talk about, discuss. It's only one. That's only we talk once a week. Thank you, Scully and Mark and Robert for being on, and Coho for disappearing. Nazario Barr will be back next week to discuss more stuff. Chaos will happen. Who knows? Who knows what the point shifts will be? But just go enjoy some football. Watch some football. Don't watch the bad games. Watch the good games, and we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.